What's up, guys? It's TheAireaidLord. Welcome back to another top 5 video for Halo 5. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's good to be back. This one is going to be the top 5 characters that I'd like to see in Halo 5 Guardians. These are specific characters to any of the past Halo games. I know my stipulation for past series has been to focus on stuff outside of Halo 4, because Halo 4 was 343's first and only new Halo game to date, excluding the Master Chief Collection, which was mostly remastered stuff. And so I kind of wanted to see how it was done before 343 to see what they could take from that and incorporate it into their new game, Halo 5. But this countdown is going to incorporate characters both from Halo 4 and characters before the events of Halo 4. The gameplay in the background is some Halo 3 gameplay, some really great stuff, some great kills on some classic maps from the Master Chief Collection, so enjoy that. So, getting ready with the countdown here, we've got, as I said, 5 characters, ones that appeared in the campaigns of the past Halo games from 1 to 4, and these characters are characters that I thought needed more time either in the original series or that they should have more time in Halo 5, and then I'm really hoping that there's kind of an opening of their character, maybe more development that's explored with them in Halo 5. So that first character is the main villain of Halo 4, surprisingly. The dreaded didact. Yes, the didact. The leader, I don't know if you want to say leader, but the leader of the Prometheans, the ancient forerunner who was sealed away and then was released by Master Chief, and then you have to stop him in one of the worst cliche, quick time event sequences for a boss battle, which was really disappointing. I seriously went through the whole campaign of Halo 4 thinking there would be a showdown with the didact, boss battle style, maybe like a classic Halo 2 boss battle, and it turned out to be very, very disappointing. You basically press a couple buttons and you win, and that's it. So, without getting too sidetracked, to talk about the didact here, not much is said about the didact. It's basically the librarian in some cutscenes does tell you some information about him, why he wants to return, who the Prometheans are, some story arc content behind that, but he seems to have this loathing for humanity and obviously wants to eradicate them, as was his events in the 4th game were pretty apparent. There are also, if you look at the terminals, there's a couple of terminals in Halo 3. Some of the terminals, if you read them, there's conversations between the librarian and the didact. These two, forerunner, previous precursor beings basically talk to each other, and there's some dialogue in Halo 3, which is kind of strange because that was all the way back in 2007, so I guess the didact was planned all the way back in Halo 3. The legendary ending for Halo 3 does tease the Forerunner planet, Requiem, that we see in Halo 4, so it kind of makes you think, how much was the didact and how much of the story of Halo 4 was prepared in the early days of Halo before it was given to 343, and this basically the developers and the design was split from what it used to be back at the old company. So with the didact, I don't think he's dead. I mean, I don't know how definitive it was if he was dead or not at the end of Halo 4. I'd like to see him return. Maybe we can actually fight him as a boss battle and not a fucking quick time event in Halo 5. I definitely like to see some development with the didact. Maybe show a more human side to him, because for the entire 4th game he was just this evil, this and evil. He kind of was just the overall general antagonist of the game, and the game was like, he's the antagonist, so go kill him. And it was like, well, I mean, we did have some dialogue, as I mentioned, from the librarian, but I didn't feel like there was enough. There was too much cliched nonsense in regards to Cortana and Master Chief's kind of general story. Not to say their story wasn't interesting, but I just felt that 343 spent way too much time dealing with the basically loss of Cortana, the deterioration of Cortana. It was just too Cortana focused. Like the Cortana chief, just dynamic in the game. Like it was so cliche. And then the Storm Covenant was kind of there just to be there, just to be involved with the conflict. There were a lot of aspects of Halo 4's story I wasn't really impressed with at all, which is kind of why I'm making these videos, because I want to see an improvement from Halo 5. And it seems like 343 is listening. But anyway, to continue with our countdown here, going to a completely different enemy from the Promethean kind of side of things. We're going to go to the Prophets. The Prophets is number 4. I forget what there's an alien name for them. Like the elites are the Sangheili. I forget. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me, but there's an alien name for the Prophets. Just like the elites, the counterpart for the elites is the Sangheili, or the Sangheili, and for the Prophets there's a special name for them. Every single group of Covenant has an official alien name. I believe the names that are given to them are human names, like elites, brutes, grunts, jackals. I think those are all names that the humans gave them while they were fighting them for the first time. That's my prediction, at least. But I'd like to see the Prophets make a return. I know the 3 hierarchs from Halo 3 and Halo 2, Mercy, Truth, and Regret. I know all 3 of those Prophets were wiped out in the original Halo trilogy. Obviously, the majority of the original Halo trilogy focused on them as the adversaries. The entire Halo storyline, for the most part, except Halo 4, has been dealing with the Covenant. The Covenant is the main threat of the original Halo trilogy. What I see 343 doing with the new Halo trilogy is trying to divert to a new enemy. You know, the Forerunners, Prometheans, whoever. Some sort of precursor entity that existed before humanity, because obviously the Forerunners were always hinted at multiple times in the original Halo story. It was why the Covenant did a lot of what they did, and I'm supposing that 343 wants to give them a bit of more focus than they were given in the previous Halo entries. But nevertheless, I believe that the Prophets should have some sort of part. You know, maybe there's a prophet leading the Storm Covenant. Maybe there's a prophet that tries to get in good with the Arbiter, with the good elites, the Separatists. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Prophets are, you know, maybe they're extinct. Maybe they're on Homeworld just rotting. Maybe they make a brief cameo. I thought that they especially, other than some terminals that were mentioned, I thought that they didn't get enough time. I mean, you only had a bit of focus on some of them, only the 3 hierarchs, to be quite honest. Those were the only time you got to see inside these characters, and I honestly think that they should have been given more time, both in the original Halo trilogy, and I think that there should be an opportunity for them to be brought back. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, considering the story of Halo 5 seems to really focus on the rivalry between Master Chief and Spartan Locke. It seems like there's other elements thrown in there, Prometheans, you know, the Arbiter and the Elites, other conflicts, Cortana possibly. You know, there's obviously all those conflicts and stuff, but who knows? I'm not sure. There's always interesting aspects that 343 can weave into the story, and that's what I'm kind of hoping to see. Number 3 on our list of characters I want to see return is the Shipmaster, which very well, I don't know if he's already been shown in that trailer. There's a trailer that was part of the Master Chief collection for the Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, where it's the trailer where Spartan Locke confronts the Arbiter about the whereabouts of Master Chief, which is obviously a cutscene either taken from Halo 5 or it's a cutscene acting as a precursor, as a prologue to Halo 5. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but I don't know if there are obviously elites on the ship that Locke is on. I just don't know which one is the Shipmaster. The Shipmaster, in Halo 3, when the elites split from the Covenant, he led the charge. He led the offense against the Covenant. He was the one who, with the Arbiter's help, allied themselves with the humans. And he's focused on, obviously in Halo 2, he's the main elite that the Arbiter kind of talks to when he is troubled, when they go on their mission to kill the heretic leader, when they get split up after the brutes try to kill them all off. He kind of talks to him and kind of consults with him many times. He's almost like his, ambassador, a sidekick, like the Arbiter's sidekick. If it wasn't Master Chief and the Arbiter, he's like the other, good elite, the other notable elite that's known. I think introducing him would be good as a good segue into introducing the Separatist elites who were not shown in Halo 4 at all, much to many people's disappointment. I think it would be a good segue to introduce new storylines. Obviously, from what we've seen in the trailer, I think we have a good chance of that actually happening, and so I'm all for it. I would definitely want it to happen if the opportunity came up. And I think if you're going to show the good elites, the Separatists, why not include some of the ones that we've seen in the past, like the Shipmaster? So that's my argument. Number 2 on the list is Lord Hood. He was the commander of the UNSC in Halo 2 and 3. And I went on the Wikipedia page, like the Halo Wiki, and a bunch of different pages to see like what happened to him. Because at the end of Halo 3, he's at the memorial where they think Master Chief is dead. He shakes the Arbiter's hand when the war's over and kind of sees him off with the new truth that they've made. But then you never see him again. You never know what happens to him. He kind of just, is, I guess, assumed to have led the Covenant. Because after Miranda Keyes is killed off, Sergeant Johnson, like, if you think of the notable characters in the original Halo trilogy, you had Sergeant Johnson, who was killed off, you had Miranda Keyes, who was also killed off, I'm trying to think, obviously you had Captain Keyes, the original Captain Keyes, Miranda's father, who was killed off in the first game. So there are these notable characters that have come up, but they've been, a lot of them have been killed off. 343 Guilty Spark, the robot, he was killed off as well. There are these characters that are notable when people think of the previous Halo games that have been basically taken care of and basically kind of expelled from the Halo universe for one reason or another. The characters that they have not gotten rid of obviously are the ones that I'm talking about, and Lord Hood is one of them. You see different leadership in Halo 4, which was confusing. You see Captain Del Rio, who is the, asshole commander of the Infinity, who is basically trying to get Chief not to go after the didact. They have their big argument from Halo 4, and I guess in a cutscene, when Chief is talking to Lackey or Locke or whatever the heck his name is, he tells Chief that Del Rio was fired from his position because basically the UNSC wasn't happy that he left the Chief behind, and so they basically got rid of Del Rio. So that's why I didn't even include Del Rio on this list. I didn't think he was even going to return, because the end of Halo 4, they were pretty much like, oh yeah, he lost his position, so I don't think he'll even be in a position of power when he comes back. The notable Spartans, you have Sarah Palmer, who was in the Spartan Ops, and who was also a notable Spartan. You also have Lackey, Locke, whatever the heck his name is. I know it starts with an L. Those are the two notable Spartans that were introduced as part of the new Spartan program in Halo 4. But to get back to the topic of Lord Hood, you don't really see him at all, and I know that's because Master Chief spends most of his time on Requiem and fighting the didact during the events of Halo 4, but now that Chief, maybe has gone MIA, now that Spartan Locke is a Spartan that's part of the whole UNSC program, we might actually see the return of Lord Hood, because he had great relations with the Chief. He worked with the Chief during the original war against the Covenant, finding the second Halo ring. He was probably alive when they found the first Halo ring. He was probably alive when Reach got torched in the original events of Halo Reach. So, Lord Hood has been through a lot of Halo. I think he's probably, looking at his age, probably been through all of the events of Halos 1 through 4, which would make him a great character to return. It would be great for him to kind of maybe see how that dynamic. Maybe he meets up with the Master Chief. Maybe I would like to see some dialogue, almost like, "Oh shit, Chief, I thought you were dead after all this time. This, that, and you have to help us with this conflict." That I don't know. It would be interesting to see that character return. I'm not sure if the voice actor would want to come back, but I definitely advocate for that. And then the final character on our list, number 1, is an obvious one. I've talked about him a few times on this list, but obviously the Arbiter is the last character that I want to return in Halo 5. It looks like that is going to be happening, a 99% chance that'll be happening, considering the trailers and gameplay that we have so far. Pretty much confirm that. We see gameplay of Spartan Locke and the Arbiter fighting side by side, attacking something related to the Covenant. Not sure what it was, but that was what the Elite said on the trailer. So basically, it looks like he's going to return, and especially there's basically a picture of him in gold armor. He's got like this new gold armor headset piece to symbolize his rank as the Arbiter. And that'll be great. That'll be awesome because, again, he was such a central character. You played it. He was basically the duo protagonist of Halo 2. You played as him for an equal amount of time as you did the Master Chief in Halo 2. And then in Halo 3, even though you didn't get to play as him, you could if you were doing split screen or co-op, but he served as your partner in crime, your sidekick. He was there with you for most of the events. Master Chief and Arbiter fought side by side for most, if not all, the events of Halo 3. And then, obviously they split off after, their ship was cut in half. Chief got separated. Arbiter made it back in one piece. That would have been interesting if Arbiter was stuck with Chief. It would have been freaking stuck together. They would have had to go through all the events of Halo 4 together. But I think that's why they did it. They wanted to divert the Arbiter's story from Chief and give Chief and Cortana their alone time, quote unquote. And I'm curious as to why that is. And I think the only way that can be answered is if we see what the Arbiter's been up to and what his story is. And before people jump down my throat, a couple of people did this before with, "Oh, you don't know Halo lore, you don't read the books, you didn't watch Forward Unto Dawn, the film, or the TV series, or whatever the hell it is." Look, I'm basing this off of video games. I'm basing this off of Halos 1, 2, 3, 4, ODST, Reach, even Halo Wars, if you want to throw that into the mix. So I'm taking the stories, narrative, and campaign of the video games based on the presentation we get from that and some of the information that I looked into based on lore and wiki information from what I've looked up. I'm taking that, combining it, and giving you guys my thoughts on what I think will be in the next games. I've done that for vehicles, weapons, characters now, and that's the way I'm doing it. So, don't jump down my throat if I didn't read, this Halo novel from 5 years ago and whatever the hell, this random post by Frank O'Connor on some website. Like, I'm not a Halo nut. Like, I understand the story. I understand a little bit more than most gamers would about the Halo story, as I've demonstrated here, I hope. But I'm not some sort of Halo freak, is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. I love the series. I care a lot about it. I love doing these videos, but, don't attack me just because I might have missed one detail or one little thing concerning a character or a vehicle or something having to do with Halo. So, anyway, though, thank you for watching. Please thumb up the video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I have a couple of more of these in a playlist, so do check them out on my channel. I'm not sure which other Halo 5 videos I'll do for this. I'm going to have to think of some ideas, and definitely have some gameplay to accompany it. So, thank you guys for watching as always. Tune in next time, and I'll see you later.